Hi guys, ZackstaDaxta here. I was a little busy this week with finals, so that's why my upload's a little late. I'm gonna try to get on a more rigid schedule for you guys so that these uploads come out, pretty much right after the chapters and episodes. But anyway, let's get right into it. We start this chapter off with Don Chinzhao being his aloof yet dangerous self, with talk of how Garp was a force to be reckoned with back in his prime. Now, we can't be sure of the exact timeline, but it would make sense story-wise to promote Garp more, that back when Don Chinzhao had his 500 million belly bounty, Garp could still leave scars that traumatized Chinzhao so much that he wants to eradicate anyone related to Garp. In typical One Piece fashion, things get messy fast with both Cabbage Dish and Don Chinzhao after Luffy's head. Their attention diverts to each other, however, as Chinzhao is getting in the way of Cabbage Dish finding out if Luffy is really Luffy. Pretty Boy actually has some skills as he and Chinzhao come to a standoff. This makes both Cavendish's sword and Chinzhao's head shine, as it shows how powerful the legendary sword Durandal is, and that Don Chinzhao has a really thick head, which, makes sense both metaphorically and physically. Metaphorically because he hasn't stopped chasing after Garp's related blood for decades, and physically because it's said that he can break continents in half with a headbutt. As if Bearded Helmet Luffy couldn't get any more awesome, he manages to slam Chinzhao into the ground with a Gear 2 punch, and you can see the smoke near the top of that panel. Cabbage Dish seems to have confirmed his belief that it's really Luffy after that display, and it comments that Luffy can easily get people to hate him. He's half right, because Luffy makes a lot of enemies, but his main strength is the allies he magnetizes so easily towards him. Hearing Chinzhao call Sai and Bu grandchildren who come to interrupt the fight is really strange. Chinzhao just got 10 times more interesting for me with his, bipolar nature. He's not some silent warrior. He actually can get enraged and have that anger explode quite easily and manifest in a beard that floats with rage, with gritted teeth. We hear word of an ulterior motive from Sai and Bu, which will surely play in later on, which is good news for me because Don Chinzhao is really interesting for a character I thought would just be, I don't know, not even really exhibited in the tournament. Oda always subverts my expectations. You get a short cameo of Ricky dodging the long-legged dude's attack, and Dogma and Elisabello assured of their victory in a way that almost ensures their demise in this tournament. And a callback of Bellamy stabbing the guy he was cheating against in cards at Mocktown, with him stabbing Abdullah and Jeet after they took out Lepanto with little effort. Bellamy then grabs their mouths from the inside, ew, and opens their jaws to the point that blood flies out. It does characterize him as atrocious, but still gross. This is one of the ways that Oda plays with his characters that I like quite a bit. I mean, think of this in some other context in a story. Say you had a character exactly like Bellamy who got reformed. They would probably be reformed with like hardly any of their previous traits, all of the traits they had before would be considered wrong. But Bellamy, he still has some of those disgusting traits he had before, and he obviously hurt the Skypians, so he's not some totally reformed dude, which is really cool to me. Hack seems to be doing fairly well with tons of one-hit KOs with his 4,000 tile fist, only to be quickly shunned by Bartolomeo, who was just casually taking a piss, surely just thinking of nourishment for the little fighting fish. It can only be speculated what Bartolomeo's power is, but that could have been armament haki, fairly close to the realm of Sentomaru's invisible, almost impenetrable walls, or it could be some type of force field devil fruit, which, a lot of people are saying is overdue in the series. Alright, overall this chapter was fairly fun, and it was mainly the Luffy, Cabbage Dish, and Chinzhao brawl that entertained me the most. One Piece Chapter 708 gets a B from me. I enjoyed it a decent bit.